Okay. Let me just try to see if I can hide all this. Okay. It's in my systems. In the file. Run. Okay. Okay, so machines are already running. Same machine addresses, fine. Okay, so last time we saw how to write playbooks, what are modules, okay, and how to use them in modules, and how to organize your inventory, okay, and how to use variables at different stage of the inventory we saw in the last time. Okay, so today let's see what are the other things and how to organize your Ansible code as well. Okay, so now you see we have run four modules, four module call here. Okay, one command IPA, one ping command, one apt update, and apt install. Okay, in another playbook we have written one, two, one for team 2 and one for team A. Okay, but here you see the same thing we are repeating here. Okay, this is a code duplication. So we have two tasks here, one for installing them and one for creating user. Okay, but how do you and for the team 2 again we are installing editor. Okay, be it nano, be it vim, we are installing editor, and another is we are creating user here. Okay, so both for both team we are doing same thing, and we have written the same type of task here. Okay, so for such kind of thing, okay, where you do a repeat, where you use the same set of tasks to organize such type of thing, you use modules. Okay, sorry, Ansible rules. Okay, am I audible? Like I see some nice, but anyway. So how do you organize this code? You can take use of roles. Okay, so how do you use roles? So roles are nothing but reusable code that you can use in your playbook. Okay, okay. So just like this, I will create a thing like uh, create theme. Okay, so just like this we're calling it a role. Okay, and how you use this role. Okay, so this thing. Okay, so same thing I will split into a role. And how do you create a role? You create a folder called roles. Okay, and the same name like what you are using create team, you just create a folder here, create team. Okay, and inside team I'm just adding a new folder called task. Okay, and inside task I'll just create one folder. Don't worry about this, I will help you understand this code formatting. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just creating this thing here. Okay, just realigning them in a better way. Okay, now you see my tasks are here. Okay, and I have just written create team here. Okay, let me remove this task here. Okay, and same thing, because the same code I am using in above here as well, I will add. Okay, But notice one thing, for both of the team, the type of editor were different. Okay. So what I will do is I'll just add uh, variables. Okay. And how to supply variables? You can just type variable name and values, and it will be called as. Okay. Let me just type roles here. Okay. And okay, I'll give you an example where you can use roles here. Okay. So in here we have three roles here: tree, wget, and zip. Okay. And how do you use role is there is a playbook that uses role. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let us add some variables here. We are calling create team, and inside the create team, I'm passing some values. Okay. One of the team is name, team name. Okay. And team name is nothing but name. Okay, in team one. So what is the team one name here is team username. Sorry. The team username, team username. Okay. And editor. So they were using Vim. Okay. The other team were using a different editor. We'll set it up here. Okay. Team username is team username. Editor was Nano. Okay. And in this role, here we are using Nano. We won't install editor. And instead of here, I will just say editor. Okay. Create user, create user. Perfect. Okay. Because both of them are using sudo. This sudo can also be provided in the playbook level in the gather pack. Right. Okay. So this way you can also set to become uh, role at a global level. Okay. So let's try to run this and see if this works. Let me close this one, close this one. Okay. What I will do is I'll just run Ansible playbook -i post.ini. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the folder. Ansible demo will playbook -i post.ini and one.yaml. Okay. So let us run this. If everything goes well, it should run the create team from. Okay. So now it says role definition must contain a role name. Okay. So this is the role name. Oh. This is the- this is the role name. Right. This means and let's try to run this. They will sing with the sort of my use. Nano. Let's run this. So now when you run it, right? So what is happening here is this code is calling another set of tasks which are called rules. Okay. So for common set of things, you add them into roles. So recursive loop detected, team username. Okay. Okay, let's just load this one. Okay. Because okay, so there was a because the same name is there, right? So it was confusing between two users. Okay. So we'll let it run. So it is installing editor. Now it is creating user. 14 to installing editor. Okay. So what I have written here is just like when we use Terraform, right? We created everything from manually, right? VPC, um, security group, subnet, all we created manually, and then we find where there was a ready-made code available on internet, which is called modules. So we take use of module, right? Similar concept is here in Ansible as well. You can create roles which are used as reusable code in the uh, in your Ansible. Okay, so here what we have created is okay a role folder. You see ls minus r in your role folder. In roles we created a role called create team. Okay, and in create team we have defined the task here. Okay, so a role contains a roles is nothing but a folder which contains Ansible related files. Okay, so a how do you create a role using Ansible standard format? So there is a command in Ansible called Ansible Galaxy. Okay, Ansible Galaxy is a command line tool which will help you to manage Ansible roles and collection. Okay, so role is nothing but your set of tasks. Okay, set of tasks that is done to achieve a uh, uh, configuration. Okay, so you wanted to install Nginx. Okay, so to install Nginx, you want to install the package first. You need to configure your Nginx configuration file. You apply some extra virtual host. Okay, you apply SSL certificates, and you create some static website folders. Okay, so these are required to set up a Nginx. So all this thing you club it into one folder, which is called Nginx installation role. Okay, and then you can call this role in multiple places. Okay, so you don't need to write all the code yourself. So that is called role. And collection is nothing but it's a collection of roles. Okay, collection contain multiple roles. Okay, role contain multiple tasks. A playbook can call collection and roles also. Okay, both of them. Okay. Any doubt or any query from the role perspective? So why do we use role? Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about roles. Okay. So I go to Ansible doc rules here. Okay. So a role have so let's say you have three playbook, right? You are creating sites, you are creating web servers, you are creating uh, another server called foo servers. Okay, so these three playbooks are using same set of tasks. Okay, so So in your playbooks, if you are using same set of tasks in multiple places, it is not a good practice to write them in different places. So what you do is you take the same code away, okay, and add it into roles. Okay, so if you are a developer, if you are already in a developer role, okay, so when you write a code and you see that this code is used at multiple places, so what do you do? So you take that code and write it into a utility script, okay, and you import that utility script wherever you need that piece of code. Okay, same thing is here, same concept is here. So so whatever shared code you are writing or using, you will add it into roles. So you see there is a common role. So this is a folder format. Okay, so this is a folder format role. There is a folder called task which will contain your task related settings. Okay, so task folder will have files. It can have one or many files, and here you will write all your Ansible tasks. Okay, handlers contain your handlers. Okay, we haven't talked about handler. Uh, so handler are nothing but a, a, a anchor, case kind of anchor. So when you call that anchor, particular task will be executed. Okay, so it is a async task that you want to execute when something changes. Okay, a template contain templated files. So these are generally used for Jinja templating. So when you use a dynamic, when you want to use a dynamic file, which will be updated on the basis of parameter you're passing, so you will use a template files. Okay, files will contain your resource. This is kind of resource folder where you will keep your files required by uh, the role. Okay, variables. These variables are are like you have defined variables in inventory, right? Okay, you have defined variables here in an inventory file. Okay, so these variable can also be defined in roles. Okay, so this var folder is used to define your variables. Okay, any other variables which are like default variables which doesn't need to change, or you want to keep them as a lowest priority variables, so you add them into default folder, default mail.yaml. Okay, so these two folders are for variables. Meta is for metadata information. You use that who created this, what is the repo URL for this role. Okay, the other three are not very important. So the main folder in role is task templates, files, vars, and default. So these five folders are main folders in a role. Okay. So as you see, I only created one folder here, task, and I was able to execute it. Okay. Okay. So let's take a few more folders here. The folder that we talked about, right? So I go to create and I do a right click. I create a new folder and I add a folder called default. Default. Okay, and in this default folder, I'll create a file called main.yaml. Okay, so in this main.yaml, I will just say that if nobody passes team name, okay, so team username will be Ansible. Okay, so if my playbook, so this file, okay, this file contains default variables. Okay, and if nobody passes editor, okay, the default editor is well. Okay, so let's see how this works. If I go to my playbook, okay, and if I don't pass any one of them, okay, if I don't pass any one of them, still you will be able to invoke it. Let me remove them from post file as well. Okay, just to make sure I do. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, perfect. Now you see, without passing anything, I was able to run thing here. Okay, but you can always override by passing variables here in the roles folder. Perfect. Okay, so there, so I showed you how you create your own role. Okay, but most of the time, you can use ready-made roles and collection available. Okay, so there's a website called Ansible-Galaxy. Okay, and you will find nearly any role that you need. Okay, so let's say you want to install uh, Java. Okay, if you want to install Java, just search for Java here, and you will find a Java role here. Okay, let's click on roles here, roles, and I can search for Java here. Okay, so there are many Java many people who upload their own roles here, roles and collection here. You can use any one of them. Okay, let's say you want to install Jenkins. Okay, so there are roles for Jenkins as well. Okay, so you can see install and configure Jenkins. This role installs and configure Jenkins. So what you can go there, and how do you install role? You install role like this. Okay, so when you run this code, so Ansible Galaxy is a tool, is a command to manage roles on the machine. Okay, so when I do this, it will download this rule in my system. Okay, and let me just refresh and see where does it downloads. Okay, so you will see it downloaded in .ansible folder. Okay, and let's go to this location. Okay, ls -r this location, and you will see. Oh, okay, let's see like this. Okay, so okay, so this way okay, it's time to give you one more tool. So tree command will give you a tree-like structure of your folder. So when you notice that I use tree command on a folder, and it show me something like this. Okay, so see how beautifully it shows the structure of the folder. Okay, so I am in this folder, code space Ansible role. How did I came here? I came here because I installed a role using Ansible Galaxy. Okay, and it downloaded the role in this folder. You see, it shows that uh, extracting Wanky 12319 Jenkins to this folder. Okay, and this is a role which contains main.yaml, servers.yaml, XML, all those things. Okay, and let's try to use it. Okay, before using it, let's see how to use it. Let's see what the documentation says about it. Okay, so I go to this one. I click on documentation, and you see here how to use this. Okay, so this is NQ. So this guy copied it from somewhere else, and he did not care to update it as well. Okay, so let's try to see if this works or not. Okay, or better, let's try to use something which I love to prefer. Okay, so so okay. So this guy is a real good, the best. I mean, so far I have gone through many Ansible trainers, and I have found this guy to be best Ansible trainer I have like ever seen. Okay, so if you find any roles that this guy is working with, so probably it's the best role available on internet. Okay, so I can you can go for any roles you see here. This is a Kubernetes installation role. If you want to install Kubernetes, like if you want to install Docker, you want to install um, like something. It's related to Docker, right? So let's see. Let's go back and see if this guy has created any. Okay, so I go to this here. Okay, he created this role: workshops, onboarding, Mac stuff. Okay, so let's see Ansible, Apache. Okay, so let's install this Apache here, Apache 2.x for Linux. I go here, I copy this one. Okay, maybe most likely this documentation will also be updated, okay, to how to use it. So let's see if I can find it out. Okay, so this is how you can use it. Okay, so what I will do is I'll go here. Okay, so in my Ansible playbook, okay, this playbook, I will call another role. And before calling that role, let's download this role. Okay, let me download this role. Okay, this role is downloaded here, but we can also download this rows in our rows folder. Okay, so so how do I download? Okay, -p. So I will download this in my current folder. So now you will see the role folder, get Linux Apache is downloaded here. Okay. So let me just copy this role folder, role name here. I go to my playbook YAML file and I will just say role and Apache. So what this will do is it will just install Apache from this role which is available on internet. Okay, so this is something is available on internet, and you see here there are a few things here which is fine. Like we don't care about it, for it will just install Apache on my system. Okay, so I will just run this playbook. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So because we have set get header get text call, it will, and it requires some OS family and all those things inside the playbook. So we need to enable gather facts. So I just commented it down. Now it is gathering facts. Uh, Class, do you understand what we are whatever I am teaching? Like, do you have any feedbacks that I can help you with, like, or improve things for you to make you better understand? Like, I think this the Ansible is going overhead for most of the people. Uh, is it something I can help you with, or you want me to repeat something, or uh, teach you in a, I mean, in a better format, something like presentations or anything that I can improve on this part. Because I see like a little less interaction for when I started with Ansible. Um, hmm, let's update the cache. Cache will take time. Okay. So while it's running, let it run. We'll see. We covered modules. We covered roles. Let's cover something like handlers. Okay. It's gonna take time. It's on time. Hmm. Okay, let's take it. Let's take it. I don't know why it is stuck here. should happen. Okay, most likely this is stuck here. But anyway, we just saw something is running here, OS specific variables, create users. It included Amazon Linux because it found that it is an Amazon Linux machine. Okay, I need to cancel this because it will take a little time. Okay. So all of you understood the concept of roles. Okay. Anyone having any question on this? All right. Okay. Okay, let me just comment this out. This is taking a lot of time. Okay. So we talked about roles. Let's see a little bit of what is handlers. Okay. So you see this playbook. Okay. So this playbook shows you what is a handler. Okay. So what it does is it installs this playbook installs Nginx server. Okay. So we will try to install Nginx on all hosts. Okay. And here we will see how you can how the restart of Nginx will happen when there is any changes on the state of Nginx. Okay. So let me just show you this as an example. Okay. So I copy this one. Okay. This is an examples folder and this is like handler file and I'll copy it here. Okay. So now I will run this playbook. This okay. What happened? My bad. I press Control R a lot. I forgot that I'm on a browser. Okay. So I'll just start with this and let me run it. Okay. And you will see that it will update cache, which is a time consuming thing, but let's see. And then we will take to the updating cache. Let us just ignore this cache thing, otherwise we'll be stuck in endless loop. And in a better way, what I can do is I can say when red is red, call X. So what does it mean is I just say okay, so this is changed. Okay, so how do I make sure that this thing change? Why it is stuck in here? Update cache again. Did I cancel it? No. I'm changing in a sorry. Close this. I have this here. I'll just comment this out. Okay. And let's see. Okay. This time it should. Okay. So here you already know that the Ansible any Ansible task will have five states. Okay. So one is okay, the other one is changed, another one, the third one is skipped, fourth one is failed, and the fifth one is uh, let's see, ignored. Where is the taking? That the installation of package is taking ages here. Okay, let me show you with a simpler example. Okay. So let's say I'm copying a file. Okay, copy application properties. Okay, so here what I'll do is I'll just use copy command, and copy command accepts a source file. So I'll say file slash application dot properties. Okay, and destination I'll say temp. Okay. So what I'm trying to instruct is Ansible, if this file changes, okay, if this file changes, run some other command. Okay, let's say I want to uh, copy this file into okay. So when this file changes, I want to restart something. Okay, maybe restarting a process or doing something. But okay, so I want to restart. Let's say what service I can restart. Okay, I can just or maybe I can okay, what I can do. Let's say notify. Okay. Here notify cleanup log files. Okay. So when what I'm trying to instruct is when this file is updated on the remote host, cleanup perform this task. Okay. So what is this task? I haven't defined this task. Let's try to define this task. So here I'm let me comment this handler here. Okay. So I'm defining a handler here. Okay. Name, and this name should be this. Okay, so what we are trying to do is let's do some cleanup here. Okay, and what I'm doing is I will delete a file called some log files. I will try to delete this. Okay, so here what I will do is okay, let's see. So let's go to file modules. Okay, file, yeah, this one. Okay. So here we'll create this is like path state touch state. We'll just delete this file. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll just copy this one and this one. So we say in where log, and there's a foo dot log file. Okay, this should be absent. Okay, absent in the sense this should be deleted. Okay, so clean up log files. This file we will delete. Let's create this file first. Okay, so that we will see something in action. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll create this file using the same thing. See this here. Create foo.log. Okay, so I will create this log file. Okay, and it requires here where log foo.log. Okay, So touch in the sense it will just create it. Okay. So create food.log, copy application file. This file is not there. Let's try to create it. So I'll just copy new file, create it here, and this file sum a equal to b. Okay. Home equal to home. Oh, Krishna. Okay. That's just a property name here. Okay. Maybe you can add port equal to 8080. Okay. Solve this. Okay. Let's try to run this handler file now. Okay. So few tasks were taking time, so I just wanted to. So it is creating a foo.log first. Okay, it created foo.log on these machines. Okay. Now I'm trying to copy application properties file. So now this, so because I copied application file property file for the first time, the handler runs. Okay. Now let me run it again. So you see, you see this handler running handler. Okay. So I'm running it again, and the application property is copied on the remote host. So this task should not show any change. Okay, because the properties are already saved. So this say okay. This time you see no handlers were run. Okay. Why? Because the application property task has not changed. So if the handler, what handler does is you call handler when some changes happen in the Ansible task. Okay. So if anything changes in application property file, so what you will do, you will need to restart your application. Okay. So there will be a code in handler which will restart your application, or maybe you need to perform some cleanup. Okay. So all those handler you need to add in Ansible to perform this kind of flow. Okay. So you do some changes, and there are some follow-up changes you want to do, you can call handlers. Okay. So these handlers can be called at multiple places. So again, if you want to remove the duplication of the code, handler is one of the way which can be used to call tasks in a apart from the roles, right? So this is the concept of handlers uh, in Ansible. Okay. So how do you define? Just like tasks, handlers are called using handlers. Okay. And if you want to keep this handler in a role, let me cut it here. So I will go to here in creative role. I'll create a folder called handlers. Okay. Sorry, I just added dot here. Name. Okay. And here I will create a folder called main.yaml. Here my handler code will be. So this will be considered as handler. Okay, you don't need to define handler here. Because the folder name is handler, this will consider as a handler. This folder is named task, so this will consider as a task. Okay. Okay. So I can copy the same thing here. Okay, create foo.bar and copy logs file. Okay, in here in the task. Okay, and they will be taken as. Okay. So now I can call everything using just a role, okay, without anything adding here. Roles, and I can just call role create. Okay. So I will just run it again. Okay. So I'm calling handler from role this time. Okay. But again, the concept is same. The handler will be run when someone calls this code from a task. Okay. So this is calling a handler. So how do you call a handler? You say notify and the handler name. Okay. This is the name. Okay. So now it is creating foo.log, copying application properties, which is already there. It should not do anything. Handler is not called. If I change anything in the property file, let's say I updated the port, okay, then it knows that I have to do some extra step. Okay. fine. So these are handlers. Let's see loops here. Before let's let it run here. Okay. So loops are a way to do repetitive things in from a single task. Okay. So so you already know that how do you install things in Ansible? Okay, install packages in Ansible. Uh, Let me just create a file here, another one. So loops.yaml. Okay, so I'm creating another Ansible playbook. Now I see it changed and handler is called in. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I say a demo for loops. Okay, host, all host become yes. Okay, I need to put a space here. Okay, so task here. So one task is I'm installing install editor. Okay, so what editor I'm installing? apt name vim. Okay, another package I'm installing is install process manager. Okay, so what I will do, what is my process manager? I install htop. Okay, so I will say install telnet. Okay, so apt name telnet. Okay, what else I can install? Install what I can install. Okay, fine. This is fine. These are the three things. Okay. So now you see, I am calling apt module three times. Okay, let's see how it works. So I'll just call. I did it one more time. Should be good. Okay, my bad. Uh, okay, I should get used to this code space. Okay, so okay, it's better to move this terminal here. I found it better here. Okay, let me just reduce the size of this screen. Anyway, I'm not writing any code longer than this time, right? So it's better to have it here. I'll just close it here. Now I'm running, I wanted to run loops. So I'll just say loops. So you see demo for loops, gathering facts. I should have disabled it, but let it run. Okay. Now see it is installing editor, installing process manager, installing telnet. Okay. Telnet is not there, so it will install it. Perfect. Telnet is also there. Okay. Now you see we have three tasks here. Okay. But okay, so how we can consolidate it? So we can consolidate here. Okay. You already know how do you use loops in any language. Same thing is available in Ansible here. So you can use loops. There is a with item here, and here you can specify the items that you want to install. So I want to install Vim, I want to install htop, I want to install telnet. So these things you can install, and this thing will go away. Okay, so using this thing, you can define a loop. Okay, and just like how do you use for loop? Like you have for I in some items, right? So so this I is a variable in items, right? So if you want to use it, so you can just use I. So this is how you use in any normal any language, right? So same thing is here. The item, these are the items here, and you can call this item as item here. Okay, so like this, you can use the loop. So this is the loop variable that you can use here. Okay, so let us run it here. Okay, okay. So we have one task, and this task, you see, it is first it is Vim here as item equal to Vim, then another item top, then another item telnet, right? So using these things, you were able to achieve using loops. Okay, simple loops. There are nothing more complexity in using loops. So with using with items, you can use loops in Ansible. Okay. Any doubt in loops? Okay. So now we have installed it. We can uninstall the packages as well. So name is state absent. Okay. So state absent present. These are the two state can be there. Okay. So I'm trying to uninstall them. Okay. So this is not connecting. Let's try to run it again. Maybe I'm not paying the AWS. They are canceling my VMs. It's connecting now. Okay. It is removing them. But okay. So this way you can use loops in everything. Okay. Hmm. All right. So the next thing that in Ansible is tags. Okay, how you tag a given task. Okay. So let's take an example here. Okay. So what are tags? Tags are nothing but you want to execute uh, only specific task in. So let me just okay, let's keep it here. Let's create a tag playbook here, tags.yaml. Okay. So here I will explain how to use tags. Okay. So what are tags? So tags demo. So here I'll just define post all. Become is not required, so it's fine. Gather tags I will just set disable false, and I will just start with task directly. Okay. So task one task is I'll just say okay. So debug is for printing something. So I'll just say debug. I am from. Okay, so this is one. So another task is debug. I am here. Okay. So here I can say from west, like uh, pretty sure. I'll just say I like farming. So debug. I love to farm. So just adding some tasks. It's not related to installation, but just giving you a demo. What is a tag, right? Um, I okay. So let's see. Although I'm very much I, where is there are traps. Okay. So what is this like? So this is like so I can just tag West India. Okay. So most people in North are vegan. Okay. So I'll just say tags North India like farming tags East India. They have a lot of water resources, seafoods, like who loves it, right? South Indian, or maybe like Bengali people loves it, but let's take an example. Don't take it by heart. Or let's say South Indian. Okay. I'll add more thing. Italy. Dosa. Okay, so say I like to eat at Udupi. Okay, I like Udupi a lot. I was when I was in Hyderabad, I like to go to Udupi restaurants a lot. Okay, so somebody likes dal bati. This is one of the famous dishes in Rajasthan. So I'd say uh, I go to Dhaba every weekend. Okay, so I'll tag this like these are again from uh, North, sorry, West India. Okay, and if you're a idli dosa lover, you are in South, right? Okay, enough. Like we have written a lot of things. Okay, so if I want to execute things which are relevant to West India, how do I do it? Is India. Okay, so if I want to execute only for West India thing, so what I can do is you can use you can take help from tags, right? So when you run this Ansible playbook, what you can do, let me run without tags. Okay, so tags.yaml file. What? Okay, tars tags. Okay, I didn't provide where here. What is it going to be this? Pending line this. What does it say? Error debug has an extra params which will only allow. Okay, so it will only have message and message. Okay, message put it this. Okay, like this. Let's send it. Which line? Column line 5. Oh, okay. So I need to do this. Let's see. Line changes. Like, okay. Line number 8 now. Where is line number? Here. Let us quote it. Yeah. Please feel free to ask questions. Yeah, this Ansible thing is really boring. You can ask any question, stupid question as well. Which one is where I miss it? Tags. I didn't. Okay, perfect. Now you see, it is running everybody. I love seafood, I love farming, veganism, Jodhpur location. Okay, so I'm Jodhpur. I can also say um, I'm a vegetarian. Okay, and if you are a vegan, by default you are vegetarian. So let's say um, you are from North India, but you are also vegan, vegetarian. So, okay. So just adding another tags here. So you can add multiple tags. Okay, let me run this. You see everything is fine. Fine. Okay, it is running everything. But what if I just wanted to perform things that are in West India? Okay. So what I can do is, so Ansible playbook has a tag field, okay, that you can use it. Okay, so let me, I don't remember the tag, exact tag thing is not shown up here. Okay, I can take help from help here, grab tag, okay, list all available tags minus t tags. Okay, so I just pass minus t and I say West India. Okay, nothing here. Sorry, West India. So now you see it only runs the tasks which are related to West India. Okay, so just give you an example how you can filter out the tasks based on tags here. Okay? And if I am vegetarian, okay, let's say I want to do it for West India, but also from West India, West India, okay, and vegetarian. So it's a vegetarian. Huh? So you see both, right? So it's not a like a cross of both, but it's a vegetarian plus West India. Okay. So if you want to like vegetarian, come on, let's see if this works. It's not working. Okay. Anyway, so we can also have a plus, minus, all those things as well as here as well. If you want to say South India, I like South India a lot. My favorite is that. So you see Udupi, seafood, all those things are related to West India tags. Okay. Okay, so this is how you can use tags. Okay, so you can say there are certain tasks which are only relevant to team one. Okay, so maybe you have environments. Okay, so like you have dev environment, you have prod environment. In dev environment, you open all the ports, right? But in prod environment, you will not open all the ports. You will open only certain ports. Okay, so this thing you can define. So your task can be relevant to environments. Okay, so if you tag only dev tasks will be run. If you tag prods, only prod tasks will be run. Okay, so this is how you can use tags in your playbooks. Okay, so you need to know the concept that there's a concept called tagging. Okay, you can tag task, and by just passing -t and the tag name, you can filter out what tags you want to use. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, let's see conditionals here. Okay, so let's see how you want to run a given task and skip some of them. Okay, so I'll copy this one. Okay, instead of writing it as again. So what I'll do is I cp here examples, and this is like what wait. Okay, I'll copy here. Okay, and if you see conditions here, so what it is doing is it checks if this file exists or not. Okay, so it registers a variable. So every module returns some values. Okay, so how to catch that value? So you can catch that value using register property. So when you pass a register property to any module, whatever is you pass to that register property, the output will be saved into that variable. Okay, so this is the variable name. So this variable will contain output of this task. Okay, so this is a state task. Okay, so if I go to state task here, okay, if I go to state task here, state module, okay, you see at the bottom returns value. Okay, so it returns a stat dictionary. It contains the stat of the file. So dictionary contain all stat data. Okay, some platform might have additional field. Okay, so you see it says an exist here. So if the destination path exists, it will be true. Okay, so same thing we will use in our code. We will say if this file exists or not. So this will the file state dot exist will be true when the file is there. Okay, and it will not be true when the file is not there. Okay, so of course this file is there. Okay, you see if I do ls here, this file is there. Okay, this file have some content here. How do I okay, let's run with this and see if this works or not. Here you will see we have used a when condition here. Okay, so this when condition is like if else thing. So when this value when this value will be true, this task will be executed. If this value is false, the task will be skipped. Okay, So what is the value here? File state.checksum. Okay. So if the file does not exist, this checksum will not be there. Okay. If the file is if the file is not there, this value will be empty. Okay. If the file exists, this property will exist. Okay. So let's try to run this Ansible playbook -i host.ini and conditions. Okay. Let us run it here. So I have specified localhost here, so it will be run on my machine. So the one machine that I'm controlling. So you see here message does not exist. So this is a script. Okay. So it says when the file does not exist. Okay. Skip this one. Okay. So this is like an opposite of. Okay. So I'll use a file that does not exist. Okay. So just reverse it, and I will run it. And now you will see, check if the file exists. Okay. So it says this task failed because you are trying to get checksum of checksum, which will not be there when the file doesn't exist. Okay. So why? Because you see here hash of the file. Okay. So okay. So okay. So I think this is not good. So I'll copy this one. When the file exists. Okay. When the file does not exist, file doesn't exist. Okay. So let us run this. Okay. So you see it is printing file does not exist because I have used a file that is not there on the host. Okay. On this machine, basically. You see the file is not there, but if I use a file which is there, it will print it. Okay. Let's run it. Now see the file exists. Well, this is a simple when condition which you can use in multiple places. Let's say you want to add a flag which will skip some of the tasks. Okay, so all right. Okay, so this is a simple when loop. There are multiple way to implement condition in Ansible. One of the ways when condition. Any question here? Yeah. I assume all of you are understanding, getting this part of Ansible, and it's really easy. Okay. Now, let's say error handling. How do you handle error? So you know that I ran something like this. Okay, and this, when the file was there, it was working fine. Okay, let me just see here. So when the file was there, this perfectly worked. This worked perfectly fine, right? So you say file exists and all those things. But when the file was not there, this piece of code failed, right? This code, this Ansible playbook failed. It failed because the checksum was not available. Okay, so your checksum will only be available when your file exists actually. So it is not able to calculate the checksum. There is no way to get checksum here. So what you do is there are some times when you don't want to fail on a particular task. So you know that the failure can exist. So you say this task can fail. Okay, so in this case, what you do is you can ignore errors from a particular task. So how do you ignore? So there's a ignore errors. So there's a property called ignore errors, and you just press yes here. So yes, true, one, all these are same so I'll just say enter. Now this time you will see it is saying ignoring, right? So there was an error in the task, but because you have passed ignore errors, this task is ignored and the next task is executed. Okay, so you can handle error using ignore errors, or you can this thing you can also pass from Ansible playbook. Okay, so Ansible playbook command also have this property. Okay, so what happened? Uh, ignore, not showing anything. Anyway, so okay, I doesn't have the property. Maybe they removed it as an Ansible config. Okay, think it doesn't have the property. So this way, like you can handle errors. There's no other way. Like try catch is not there in Ansible. Okay, so if you see here, try catch in Ansible. Okay, so if you go to error handling documentation here, there are ways you can error. So one of the way I have told you is ignore error. So when you set it, the command will the task, even if the task fail, it will continue. Okay, so there are unreachable thing. So some of the commands that will not be reachable. So this so you might be running a playbook, but this this command will not run because the host is not reachable. Okay, maybe it is running for some hosts which are only Linux. Okay, and all of your Linux like tasks are Linux machines are unreachable. So you can ignore unreachable as well. Okay. Um, so even okay, let's see here. Okay, so what I will do is I can show you this thing. Okay. So so what I will do is I'll say alt, okay, and I will add a host that is not available. Okay, so I'll just copy this and I'll say 22. So this host is not available, right? So can I still run some task still run some task which will still be will still run even if all of the host or any one of the host is unavailable. Okay, so that thing you can also do using uh unavailability. Where is it? How did I copy it? This is playbook. Let us close this. I have to close this. Handlers conditions. Yeah, I was using condition. Okay, so I would say run some task. Okay, I will say run this task always. Okay, so I just say debug. I will say message return. Okay, message return by open. Okay, so this task will always should always be running. Okay, so what I can say, ignore errors. Sorry, ignore unreachable. Okay, and I will say yes. So this task will be run for all hosts, whether it is reachable or unreachable. Let's try to run it. Okay, so we have three hosts. One of them is not reachable, and we will see that this task will be run for the host as well. Okay, unreachable. Skip change. Okay, five. So one. Ignoring. Did I miss anything? Ah, the host being unreachable. Look like this. Yes. Seven. There are a lot of changes in Ansible since I took training. Okay, now you see it is run for all hosts, whether they are reachable or unreachable. But the other tasks are only run for reachable sheets. Okay. So now you see the machine was unreachable and still the tasks are executed for them. Okay. Not sure why this debug was not executing for them. Maybe it got filtered here. But so the concept is you can do error handling by ignore underscore variables. So there are things that you can fail deliberately. Okay, you can so let's say I want to deliberately fail task, right? Fail task. So when I say fail when uh, my where is is or let's say unknown. So fail, and when do you want to fail? When my where equal to okay. So I would set. Let me just remove this. Okay, unreachable thing here. So what we are doing is we are deliberately failing the playbook when this variable is set to unknown. Okay. Right now, let's see how to set variables. So this variable is set to some value. Okay. So I'll set it to Twinkle. Okay, my pet name. So my pet's not my pet name. So okay. So when I run this, it will not fail because the variable is not unknown. So it's gathering. Why I unable gathering fact, I don't know. Okay. Let me just remove the post, but anyway. Okay, so this did not fail. And now I will set it to unknown, unknown. And when I run it, you will see it will fail. Okay. Okay. Now it's failed, right? So so you can you can put some validation in your like this is like a assertion we put in Ansible. Okay. If you want to do assertion, if you want to do validation, you can use fail module. Okay, so this module or this is an inbuilt functionality in Ansible, which can help you to fail early. Okay, so generally people use fail for validation things. Okay, there is another one, assert. Okay, so if you want to again do a validation, this is one of the validation. Another validation you can do is using assert, just like other thing. Okay, so you can use assert here. Okay, maybe you will assert here. No assert here. Okay, let's assert here. Assert module. Okay. So it says assert that family is random. So similar to what we did for fail, it will make sure that the value is what we expect. So I'll just copy this one here. Okay, and I'll just remove this one. And I will need to paste it here. Assert that. So I'll just run this again. What happened? Or did I supply anything wrong? The task offset has extra parameters. Seriously. Fail when my variable. Okay, it is here. I bet. Nobody complained. take a little while. Okay, so now you see the assertion passed because it is unknown. So it says if the variable is unknown, then only go forward. Okay, if the variable is different, it will fail. So twinkle again. Okay, now it failed because my var is false for everyone. So if one of the if for one of the host you set this variable, so for that host it will continue. Okay, so if I set this variable unknown here, unknown, no. So for this task and for this host team two host, it will continue. For the other host, it will just break. Why? Okay, because it overridden. It's overridden here. Let me just. Where is it? Yeah. This takes highest priority. So okay. So for this host, it was defined. So it says assertion passed. So only for that host, it will continue the rest of the playbook. For other hosts, it will just ignore. Okay. So this way, also you make sure whichever host defines proper values, only for those hosts, the other playbook tasks are executed. So this is how you can use, you can handle errors, you can generate errors, you can manage validations in Ansible. Okay. So 4 ways, ignore errors, ignore unreachable, failed module, and assert module. These are the 4 ways that you can and work with errors. Okay. Okay. So the last thing that I want to show you is templates. Okay. So this template is an interesting thing. Okay. If you heard of Jinja thing, Jinja 2. Okay. So Jinja 2 is a Python framework. Okay, which help you define uh, a dynamic block. Okay, so see this one. So this is uh, a dynamic HTML file. Okay, which defines using variables. You see base.html. You might have seen this in your if you work with Django or if you work with Node.js, so you might have seen something like this. So, okay, so this is a template HTML file. Okay, and under this there are multiple variables available. So title is a variable, content is a variable, users is a loop list here. Okay, which have URLs and username. Okay, so let's copy this one and see how it works. Okay, so what I'll do is, okay, so I'll create a file called in the files folder, and I'll say new file index.html. Okay, and here I will just copy this. I'll remove this base.html. I don't have it. Okay, so I'll remove this one. Okay, and remove this one. Okay, so just for users, I'm writing it here. This file I will try to generate and copy into my local. Okay, so how do you do this? This there is a, I'll call it template.yaml. Okay, and here I will write my playbook demo for templates. Okay, here I will say host localhost. I want to do it locally, and task is, so to use template you call render HTML file template. Okay, and you say template here. Okay, and you need to define source. So source is your local folder where template exists. So files index.html.j2. So generally, whatever Jinja templates you have, you keep them the J2 extension. Okay, so this is a J2 extension. Okay, and you want to, I will copy into local folder into temp index.html. Okay, and so when you run this, let's run this and see what happens. Okay, so what is the file name? Templates. I'll just run it, and this will fail, right? So it will fail because the template requires a user variable. Okay, so if you see the template, you are using a user's variable here. Okay, let us add few more variables so that you understand. Okay, so I will say HTML, HTML. Okay, I'm not a HTML guy, but so I'll just say head. I will add a header here, header. Okay, and I'll just say what I say title. Okay, so title, and this will be filled with users. Okay, so let me pass headers and titles and users so that it can render here. Okay, so the first thing I will pass is where's. So title, I will pass my cool website. Okay, and in the header I will say the second hand book company. Okay, and I need to pass users, and in the users a list of user with URL and username. Okay, so what I will do is I'll say URL, okay, www.user1.com, and it has username user1. Okay, same thing for other user. I'll just say user2. Okay, so this is a users list where user has a URL and a username. Okay, same thing is created here. We could have simplified it, but let's take this as an example. Okay, let me run this, and this time because I have specified users header and template, it should print it. Okay, so where does it go? It goes into, so I have copied this template into temp index.html. Okay, let's try to see this. Here you will see whatever value we have specified as variable, these are replaced by the variable values. The second book hand company, the my cool website, right? href, it is updated, right? So all these things are set up here, right? Okay. So this is templating. So you can use template template module or template task to render the file uh, using the environment that you have in the Ansible or the variables. So it is used for dynamically generating your files and copying into the remote host. Okay. All right. So yeah. So this. So we covered most of the Ansible part. Okay. Uh, any team guys like any any doubts, any confusion, or anything that you want me to repeat again? So this concludes Ansible. So I try to uh, like give you a good overview of Ansible, what is Ansible and all those things. Uh, do you have any question for me from the Ansible side or anything like that we have covered so far? You want me to repeat anything? Okay. At one moment I thought the meeting stopped. Okay.